is a true story. 6 prisoners greeted the prison guards and then simply walked out as if nothing had happened. Thus, one of the most bizarre prison escapes in history was successfully completed. The case took place at the Western Penitentiary in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1992. A robber named Pontus was sent to this prison. Shortly after, a riot broke out inside the facility and he witnessed a prisoner being stabbed to death by 3 others. That scene made Pontus start planning his escape. But escaping from a maximum security prison was no easy task. After analyzing the situation, he decided to use the classic method, digging a tunnel. However, he quickly realized that digging alone would be impossible. So, he shared his plan with his cellmate Greg, who immediately agreed to help. But as they started, they realized the escape wouldn't be as simple as they had imagined. That's when they met Kevin, another inmate who also wanted to escape, and, luckily, had experience as a miner. The 3 formed a team. To find the perfect digging spot, Pontus managed to get a job as a prison handyman. This job allowed him to move around the facility, studying its plumbing and electrical systems. One day, he was unexpectedly assigned to work in the prison's warehouse, which was separated from the maintenance area by only one wall. He realized that if he dug a tunnel connecting the 2 areas, he could reach freedom. The problem was that access to the maintenance area was controlled by the guards, and for them to enter together, they needed a key. Greg then suggested that he and Kevin stage a fight to distract the guards, while Pontus used soap to make an imprint of the warden's key. The plan worked perfectly. Then, Pontus carved a copy of the key using a spoon, and after a few attempts, he successfully unlocked the maintenance room door. From there, they started digging in shifts. One dug, another transported the dirt, and the third kept watch. However, another prisoner named Keller discovered their plan, and they had no choice but to include him in the team. Pontus planned to flee to Texas after escaping. To do so, they recruited a car thief named Andrew. When they realized they would need fake identities to live in Texas, they added a document forger named George. During this process, Greg was placed in solitary confinement and had to abandon the plan. Later, a man named Tom also joined the group. He was gravely ill, and Pontus couldn't bear to see him die in prison. After 4 months of digging, only one obstacle remained: the warehouse's concrete floor. They didn't know how to break it without drawing attention, but Pontus used a hydraulic jack to apply pressure underneath the concrete. As the pressure increased, the floor suddenly collapsed. The group was shocked. They were excited, but also terrified. Even so, they scheduled their escape for the next morning. The next day, during recreation time, they went to the maintenance room, crawled through the tunnel, and arrived at the warehouse. Since prisoners were allowed to wear regular clothes, they changed into casual outfits and put on safety helmets. Now, the final challenge was a guard launching from the prison wall. Pontus insisted that they remain calm since maintenance workers often walked out of the warehouse without being questioned by the guards. As they left, for some reason, Pontus even greeted the guard, who, to everyone's surprise, greeted him back. Once outside, Andrew stole a car, and the group headed to Texas. 6 days later, after securing fake identities, they checked into a motel. However, Tom, on the verge of death, consumed a large amount of illegal substances, became disoriented, and disappeared. He was later found unconscious on the street and taken to a hospital, leading the police to suspect that the rest of the group was also in Texas. 10 days later, Pontus and Keller were out buying supplies when a police car started following them. Initially, the officers didn't know they were fugitives. They only wanted to remind them to wear their seatbelts. But when Pontus and Keller saw the patrol car, they panicked, hit the gas, and tried to escape. A highway chase ensued, but Pontus lost control and crashed into a tree. Keller was arrested on the spot, but Pontus managed to flee into the forest. After walking for 2 days, he finally returned to the motel, unaware that Keller had already confessed everything to the police. The location was surrounded by special forces, and so, all 6 fugitives were captured. Years of planning resulted in only 12 days of freedom. All of them received additional sentences, and Pontus was sentenced to 14 more years in solitary confinement. This case led the U.S. prison system to tighten various security regulations.